Today, we're going to be talking about the balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard. And it's a very important tool that can be used for performance measurement. To find out more about it, stick around and I'll be right back. My name is Olumide and I talk about things relating to business, career, and tech. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure that you click on the subscribe button and you turn on notifications, okay? So, like I said, I'm talking today about the balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard. And it's a very important tool that can be used for performance measurement. But what is the idea behind the balanced scorecard? You see, for business people such as myself, there's a tendency to focus on profits, to focus on money, to follow the money. Why? Because when you set up a business, I can tell you that for most people, the key reason is they want to make money. Most people invest in businesses so that they can get financial returns. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's simply how businesses work. But you see, the problem is if a business focuses only on financial metrics, that business is not likely to be sustainable or to be successful in the long run. Why? Because there are other things that are important as well. And that is the reason for the balanced scorecard. It's a way of looking at four things and being able to work on those so that the financial elements are not the only important ones, and the business can look at other areas as well. So we're going to look at four metrics that make up the balanced scorecard. And at the middle, you're going to have the mission and vision, the strategy of that organization. But you see, that leads to four things. So, what are those four things? You guessed right. The first one is financial, the second is customer, the third is internal business processes, and the final one is learning and growth. So let's look at each of those into a little more detail. What is the financial element? So financial, that's where you're answering questions like, are we making money? Are we having sales? What is our net profit? Is it increasing? Is it getting better? And under that, you can have specific objectives. You can have metrics with which you're tracking those objectives. Okay. Now, some of the objectives can be things like want to maybe become the market leader, can be things like want to gain market traction, want to increase our returns on investment, want to attract new investments, or we want to enter into a new market. You see, all of these are financial objectives, and for each of them, you should have metrics. The metrics are what you're using to measure the attainment of those objectives, okay? And for each of those metrics as well, you would have initiatives or strategies, which are ways that you intend to accomplish each of those metrics that you have in place. Now, one thing about financial indicators is that they are regarded as lagging indicators. They are called lagging indicators. Why? Because you see, with the financial indicators, the financial part is kind of like the result. The organization makes a profit or makes a loss. That's actually a result. That's a result of other things, okay? So it's a lagging indicator because it's coming after. But you see, there are other indicators, and those are the ones that we're going to go to next. So let's go on to number 2, the customer. Under the customer, we will be looking at things like how many customers do you have? Basically, you're looking at how do you increase the number of customers? How do you improve the satisfaction rate for customers? How do you make sure that your customers are happy? How do you How do you improve their perception of your business? Okay, so things like you want to improve customer delivery time, you want to increase number of customers, you want to increase number of returning customers. So those are some of the things that you look at under customers. Remember that I said that the financial elements are lagging elements. But you see, for customers, for internal business processes, and for learning and growth, those ones are referred to as leading indicators. They are leading indicators because, unlike the lagging indicators, the financial, they are things that you can work on, and as they are worked on, they will then affect the financials. So they kind of come ahead, they can be done ahead, and then the result shows after. Okay, so they are leading indicators, unlike the lagging indicators. So let's go on to the next one, number 3, and that is internal business processes. So essentially, for internal business processes, you're trying to answer the question, what do we as a business need to become good at in order to improve this business? Okay, so you're then looking at things like, how do you reduce production costs? How do you reduce defective output? How do you restructure the organization if necessary? Because if you're having process issues, it might be necessary to restructure units, or maybe to even restructure the entire organization such that it is more efficient and more effective. So how do you restructure the organization? You also look at things like how do you improve resource allocation? How do you improve resource allocation? So those are some of the questions you would want to ask under the internal business processes. Let's go to the last one. The final one is learning and growth. And here you're basically answering the question, can we keep improving and creating value? So for that, you're looking at the things that you can do, maybe to train and retrain your employees, the things you can do to keep them on, and to maybe even increase the number of employees, or more importantly, increase commitment among your employees. So basically, you're trying to look at, how do you decrease employee turnover? How do you implement a reward system if there is none? Or how do you improve the existing reward system? How do you improve employee satisfaction? How do you provide better employee training? How do you utilize your employees better? Okay, so those are some of the things that you look at under learning and growth. Now, if you look at those 4 elements, you would find out something, and that is that they are actually all linked together. In reality, if you improve learning and growth, for instance, it's going to end up improving your internal business processes. And if you improve your internal business processes, you're going to end up with better satisfied customers. And by the time your customers are more satisfied and they are happier, then you're going to earn more as an organization. So you will see that these things, it's a cycle. There are things that actually relate and that's key into one another. I think that the other thing that you need to note is that for each of the elements, you should be looking at the objectives. So what are those specific objectives? And I gave you some examples for each of them. You should also be looking at the measures. How do you measure the attainment of these objectives? So you should have some metrics in place to measure each of them. You can open maybe Excel, and you can use Excel to put each of these things together, because the key thing is to make sure that you're documenting so that it is easy to track all of these things. And then you should have initiatives. The initiatives are the specific ways you're going to attain the different things listed in those measurements. Okay, so you should have initiatives which are very specific. Now, when you do all of those, you've been able to implement what is known as the balanced scorecard. It's actually that simple. But like I said at the beginning, it can be a very powerful tool for performance measurement. So that is what I have for you today. If you want to learn more, you can join my class. There's at Twin Institute, which I lead. We have a business analysis course, or better still, we have business analysis courses. And we are an accredited center of BCS, the Chartered Institute for IT, which is also known as the British Computer Society. So you can head over to our website and you can check out our business analysis courses. You can also check out our other courses. We have courses in tech, courses that will interest you. So head over to our website, check out our courses. I'll be happy to see you in class. And trust me, we can train you regardless of where you are in the world, because those courses are fully online. They're fully online. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button right now so that you can get more of my content. I look forward to seeing you in my very next video. Do have a lovely day. Bye.